Hello, Perfect Death here, and I'll be doing a Ragnarok Online Mobile video. In this video, I will do some commentary over a recording that I did for the recent 6v6 tournament, particularly from my Divine Avenger perspective, with the new Sacrifice Taunt rune, as, you know, it's been quite useful. I haven't really done anything else except for that one video where I talked about the rune, and it turns out just like how I thought it would. And so I decided to make a new build that I'm testing out, and this is the Dagger Sacrifice build. So our team here is like I guess you could say just the semi-casual. We're not really trying to push any kind of meta. We just jumped in to our group and try things out. And yeah, right there I got killed by poison. I think that guy probably had a really good poison card because I'm running Eggrope, so I've got like a 80% poison resistance. So getting a 500 stack tick of poison's pretty nasty. But my Sacrifice build does almost 500k when I test it out against people with little resistance. Generally people have auto attack resistance and refined defense, and that stuff brings down the damage of Sacrifice. And the point of having a dagger build is actually the chance for doing the double attack if you run the katana back item. Right there, I'm fighting a Dorm, which was going pretty well until, again, somebody showed up and helped out the Dorm, and then the Dorm's bleed got me. If Dorm gets you snared, Command Charge doesn't really free you from his snare. You have to use Freedom Vow to free yourself from the Dorm's snare. Though Command Charge does prevent you from getting snared in the first place. So if you preemptively use Command Charge, you'll be freed from that. Yeah, you can see right there, this fight, I essentially forced the Dorm to not be able to do any skills, right? And that's very useful when it comes to using the Sacrifice Taunt, as if skill-based classes rely heavily on using skills, obviously, and the Sacrifice Taunt will lock the player from doing any skills. And it also prevents them from running away. So I just triggered it right there, and now he can't run away. And then I can just hold him in place. And yeah, that Nogu came to help him out. Now this is our first match, so I don't have any of the PvP skills, and I tend to favor the ones that it's one of the tier 2 ones. I'll get it later on, and what that one does is it gives you SP regeneration, and 6v6 having no SP is very common if you don't run that, and I tend to need SP a lot, so I usually go for either try to find somebody to just kill you so that you can just res and get full SP, or there were a couple of times where I would just sit on the ground and wait. Depends. But in this case, we do fairly well. The other team, like their Novice Guardians was pretty strong, but overall we were able to just sort of out DPS them, I guess, and just hold the items more. And just recently there, I used my Freedom Vow to help out the Chronomancer, who I'm sticking near, and usually I'll try to do a Divine Protection link on him. A couple of times in this video I do that. His Warm Breeze heals me for over 600k. So if I Divine Protection him, he will also receive that 600k heal, plus his own normal Warm Breeze, which is, it looks like an 87k. So That's a very strong heal that I'm doing onto him. I've tried it out on some more dedicated full support builds because he's a more of a DPS build there, and those full support Chronomancers will get a warm breeze of like 1.3 million on me. So those results for that one, which I actually did quite well, 7 kills. It's way more than my usual hybrid build. So, and let's zoom off up to the next one, which is the chess piece match. And in this one, you want to try to capture all your chess pieces. And there's a double rune master, which I dread because rune masters have a passive that they will convert their lost HP into draining your SP. So for me, like, I've noticed a lot of rune masters tend to be quite glass cannons, and they just rely on their asphyxia to just let them survive through a fight. And yeah, so it'll be like in one hit I'll just lose all my SP because I just do so much damage to him. So there's a assassin there who one of the things about the assassins is they tend to also have that, I think they got like almost double death immunity. One of their abilities lets them be untargetable, and there are very, very few ways of actually hitting them. Let's see, I haven't quite poked a rune master yet. I'm not too keen to do that until right about here. And you can see he's got asphyxiate, so I'm not too worried about hitting him after he's done that. If I do use Sacrifice Taunt before the asphyxia, it prevents them from doing asphyxia. Very useful. But yeah, you can see he did his there, but I've already drained my SP, and I can't really recast my sacrifice if I have no SP. So yeah, that guy right there. I'm just more focused on doing shield press to them first, since that will prevent them from doing auto attacks, and I've noticed they are agi crit builds. So yeah, this one I can't really hurt at all because yeah, I got no SP. Gets so much easier once I get that skill that gives you 2% SP per second. And there's the Doomsday. I actually tell the other DA to run out, but he doesn't quite catch it early enough. And unfortunately, there's a bit too much stuff that's doing like snares, or I think that might have even been the Rune Master. But yeah, that combo of Doomsday, I almost feel like that was shorter than the usual 5 seconds. And Dancers and Bards have a new rune that does reduce the, I think it reduces the time before the Doomsday kicks in. So there I focused on having the non-Rune Master attacked. And there's the Space Silence, which makes it easier to get somebody. I think let's skip on to the, oh wait, I have my gear here. There we go. So just as a quick overview, not much of a guide for this, but I still have my Giant Wing Shield and Watcher's armor. Watcher's is probably one of the better armors overall, even compared to the ancient equips. And I do have a shield with a very high percent HP roll as an ancient arm or ancient offhand, and another shield, this one, which has a very high elemental resistance. But I'm currently running more of a heal focused build, so I'm still using my Giant Wing Shield. Deathcat Cape for the extra HP, Eclipse Star for the extra HP, and also the damage reflect on the Deathcat Cape. Basilisk card In the shield for reduced medium damage received, a grew up card in the armor, and then these are the rune boots synthed with a Ferris card, and then 2 of these. Here I've got a Scarecrow card and a Horon card. In my dagger I've got the Meta Ant Egg card and the Bloody Knight Star card. The reason for the Bloody Knight Star is he is 5% auto attack damage, and a Meta Ant Egg card is 5% HP. And generally, because auto attack damage works on Sacrifice, you tend to get, I think some people tested it out around 2% extra damage per 1% of your, like comparable to your HP. So 1% HP, or I mixed it up. So it's 1% auto attack. It ends up being equal to 2% HP in terms of damage output for Sacrifice. So auto attack tends to be better, though once you start stacking more auto attack damage, that amount starts to reduce. So I have very little sources for auto attack damage, so it's a very significant boost, and it's fairly cheap. It was only like 100 million, so compared to the other cards, there's some other cards that are better overall for Sacrifice build, but they're like 400, 500 million, so. And then in the helmet here, this is a percent HP helmet. I've got a Mentalist card for the extra vitality and fear immunity. Fear immunity is not the biggest importance for Divine Avenger, since we do have quite a bit of resistance, but you know, I figured 5 int or 5 vitality, and during this whole thing I only got silenced once, so, and I only got put to sleep a few times because I got my buffs all removed. Then there's this Shield of Valhalla for extra HP and stun res, this one for extra HP, the katana that has the double attack, and then I was trying out this, which gives you a little more damage. So anyway, let's zoom on up to here, and this is a bit more of a balanced team. They've got a priest, got a slayer, and then yeah, Google Play keeps stopping on me. And we're back to this one here again. Since I've had some more matches in, we're starting to get more of the, let's see, is there anything of note? I mean, obviously fighting, you can kind of see it, they ran away. Let's see if I can show that off a little better. Because I know quite a few people don't really think that you lose SP from hitting a Rune Master, but it's like, oh, I definitely do. Yeah, this is great right here. I just stopped that priest from doing any skills. It's so nice when you do that. But yeah, you can see, bloop, I just lost like a quarter of my SP from one shot, one poke on a Rune Master. If I get my double attack off, then I like lose half to even more of my SP just from one hit. I think this one was another fairly easy one where we gradually face stronger enemies there. But yeah, you see I have no SP, and I dropped him down to like only about two-thirds of his HP, and yeah, I have no HP or no SP after doing that. So, and all I can do is just stand around and wait. Wait until they eventually get me, because I can't rebuff or anything. So, I do not like fighting Rune Masters in 6v6 just because of that SP drain, until I get the skill that gives me greater SP regen. Then it's okay, they're tolerable. I can get enough regen to recast some skills. And yeah, I think that was a dead slave ult there or something. So, We're still not quite fighting the really strong groups here. Oh, wait. Let's see. Do I get it here, or... I think I showed it off. I went to look at it anyway. But yes, the next level here, right when you get to level 3, then it gives you 2% max SP per second. So that's what I'm holding out for, because that is so good. Yeah, zoom. And back to another chess piece match. Except this time there is a Chronomancer on the enemy team. And Chronomancers can completely shut down the whole game if they are good at spamming space islands. Like, no joke. I think there was only one that we faced who was actually really built for reducing their skill cooldown, and they were able to lock down just a lot of people with space islands. And of course, a lot of smoky cards as well. Though I don't think this one does. There may be a fairly new one. And hard to see what goes on when you have all these little window icons pop up and gear breaks and stuff. So, but yeah, I attacked the Dorum, forced the Dorum to stop doing anything except for poking me. And sometimes you can see my meteors come down because I have the Bloody Night Star. The meteors are a bit meme. It's more for the stagger, really. Though, the whole purpose of getting the card for me was the auto attack damage anyway. The stagger's just kind of neat, I guess. And yeah, and right, a main sort of the whole thing that you end up finding during these chess piece matches is people just try to run through and decap either the sides or your spawn point one. So in some cases I'll see some teams where they just end up having somebody hidden that just keeps recapping points. And one of the things that I've been also looking at is getting a heroic monument ancient equip that will give me 45% extra heal received from the random enchant. If I can get that, then, and there I just freed Venzer there from a freeze. I'm guessing that person had the King of Chaos and maybe even a bunch of Wraith Star or something like that, because that was a long freeze. But I've been looking at getting a shield with a lot of heal receive on it and seeing how that works for the Glorious Guardian heals, and also for comboing with Chronomancer, see how much I can stonk these heals up. And this person's trying to heal, and as soon as they got detected, they just kept rehealing, which is weird. I don't know how they did that, just because normally heal has a long cooldown. And so I detected him for like a split second. He then hid. Our Chronomancer then detected him. Then he instantly hit us again. And then he died because he managed to get an auto attack or something off. So, but yeah, the usual thing that you see is just somebody runs into the middle and runs circles. And there you go. I got no SP because Flames gets the same passive as the Rune Master does. And now I finally get Steel Body level 4. Sometimes I'll only go Steel Body 3 and then get one of the others, but I figured Why not? So now in this one, it is a Slayer, Chronomancer, Dragon Fist, Stellar Hunter, Nogu, and a Dancer. This one was pretty nasty because the Dancer and Chronomancer just stuck together in the middle. And that's a very annoying combo because they can Space Silence and Doomsday you. And then I believe the Stellar Hunter here did a lot of dark matter trapping as well. Oh yeah, and here we go. There's a Slayer. He's in his box. So the nice thing about though he died a little bit right after that happened, but with the Slayers, I'm not too worried about them, just because I can just stop them from doing skills by doing the taunt. And yeah, there's a Chronomancer, but then of course I got the other AoEs can be really nasty. There's a Stellar Hunter who's in the area who keeps poking. And there we go. You see, I just forced him to start auto-attacking, so he can't do any of his Slayer nukes when that happens, so I can just keep tying him down until his white barrier expires. Except, yeah, you can see because his skills are AoE, he managed to take out the Chronomancer and drop me down like 2/3 HP just from that one hit. And yeah, there you go. He's chasing after me. But then once he got a bit distracted, then I can just lock him down with my though he did get his damage immunity skill off before I could do that. That's the other reason why I try to shut them down, is if they get their immortality skill off, then they're just guaranteed to get a bunch of more skills shot off at you. I think that was a hit from the champion, or the Dragon Fist there. And yeah, something, I can't remember what does that blind. Oh, that must be one of the abilities that you can do in the map that does the blind. Because yeah, Battle Chant doesn't. The Battle Chant usually cures that stuff, but so yeah, you can see there, he activated his damage immunity just as he started the fight, which was fairly smart of him that time. Because then that just means that I have to spend more time. But yeah, now they've got the they start to stack their annoying stuff over at the middle there. Where it's just a constant earth field with Doomsday, and if you walk anywhere near it, you get like instantly space silenced. Like right there, boom, space silenced. Since it takes a while to activate, you can generally just walk into the area and then it kicks in. So they cast it to you while you're walking in. Now, the main counter against space silence is priest clearance. So if you have a priest who's just constantly following you around and just clearancing the whole team, then things go quite well there. But yeah, unfortunately, the Dancer is their main res class as well. So if you take down the Chronomancer, you get Doomsdayed, and if you try to focus on the Dancer, then you have to deal with the Chronomancer, space silencing and remove buffing and stuff like that. So for sure, if we wanted to do better, a priest would have been very vital just for that clearance, because a lot of these actually every match we lose has a Chronomancer. And yeah, that's that remove buff and combo with space silence is just nasty. The Slayers, for the most part, they're there to like disrupt everybody by just doing lots of DPS, and if they aren't being supported, they don't do very well. But the usual thing that happens is you try to do something, but then you get locked down, right? Buffs wiped, space silenced, dark matter trap. There's a couple of really nasty ones. Yeah, and then I realized that they had stripped my accessories off. And then I hadn't rebuffed, so. Because yeah, you can see he basically runs in and out from the middle area, and then as soon as you walk into that area, you get like hit by the dark matter trap, space silence combo. And then it's the Nogu and the Slayer and the Dragon Fist who can just run free at that point. So that's one of the main metas in 6v6 is use those irresistible CCs to shut down the other team, and then you only really need one DPS. Oh yeah, I did try out using those, we got a bunch of these meals that heal 1% HP and SP per second. So I decided to use one and see if it worked in 6v6, and it doesn't. You can see the ticks here, but we weren't getting those ticks earlier, so. On this next one here, a double priest run. There's a gunslinger. I was worried when I saw him because rifle gunslingers have the exact same remove buff skill as Chronomancer, but more range on it. So but he's just a revolver one, so that's not that bad. But you can see there, he has his, he does have the rune for auto casting his adrenaline, which prevents him from dying. Oh, and yeah, that's right. These priests have smoky cards, but they can't really run away when I've got my taunt rune there. And that's also why I'm running sight. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have my command charge up, so, and we don't have a priest to give us the movement speed bonus, so. And yeah, they used their smoky card so that they can move to another area and do some capping. Oh, yeah, and there's Faith Prey, which they did onto the Slayer, so I can't actually kill the Slayer. And he gets the white barrier. And then I'd use Divine Protection to heal up this guy pretty quick, because while I can heal the team pretty well with my battle chant, if I Divine Protection them, they get way more heals. So I try to combo that when I can. And there I ended up getting 2 tied down. Couldn't actually get to the Slayer because he was hiding on the other side of those boxes. Which was pretty smart on his side to use that. Yeah, lots of smoky cards. So it's pretty much vital to run a Horong at this point in PvPs, because everybody has some kind of hide. I don't run it just because I move way too slow. If I had a Moonlight Flower, then obviously you'd not be slowed down by the hide, and that's definitely when you'd want to do that. Yeah, you can see the enemy priest is basically just run around. But I decided just to ignore the priest and focus on capturing the corner piece here, just to help out the team in recapping everything quick. And let's see. He got annihilated there. Let's skip ahead. Let's see if I can find the next one here. Yeah, this one, there's 2 hidden enemies. And for sure there'll be more because there's an assassin in there as well. I think it was like a Chronomancer and a Dorm or something like that. But yeah, this will be another nasty one. So I think in this one it's the Slayer, the enemy team Slayer, who does all the DPS on their team. And like most of his other teammates are all there for the... because the priest is actually on his game when it comes to using his abilities. Like he did decrease agility right away. I get caught by the dark matter trap. Yeah, so there's a cat and a Chronomancer. So that's like half the team that can hide. And then instantly, dark matter trap. Because yeah, the annoying thing about dark matter trap is it also removes all your buffs too. It has a chance to. It's not guaranteed, but if you fall into if you get black holed, you're losing all your buffs. And yeah, you can see right there, basically just shut down instantly by a combo of dark matter trap and the space silence. So I'm like, well, can I go around? And there's I think he has time bomb as well, but he barely does any damage. I'm pretty sure that team also, they're pretty well coordinated because you can see that they'll usually jump and help out each other. But yeah, they just keep running onto the other side of that wall of DMT, and even the Dorm's got his no entry snare AoE. So they're pretty much just all focused on supporting the Slayer. And yeah, there I couldn't use Freedom Bow because I was debuffed enough to lose my endure, so that I kept flinching and I couldn't use skills, and I just got denied there. But the Stellar Hunters, if they're running their Falcon Blitz beat, they'll be able to remove buffs by every time they can do a Blitz beat. They got a pretty good chance to remove a buff, and so that's especially true now that they've got that new rune. If they get the third line on that, they can Blitz beat the crap out of you. Yeah, he's really hard to deal with because you can see he just does his backslide ability, and then as soon as he backslides, he'll do a dark matter trap. So Stellar Hunters can be really annoying because of that. You end up having to push really hard in just to get rid of them. And yeah, the assassin there, he just used his untargetable ability, so I can't actually hit him. And yeah, there's Space Silence. Which is the common thing that ends up happening. Lots of Space Silence. And again, if you are really annoyed by Space Silence, then for sure a Priest is vital, just due to remove buff. And Priests can counter Chronomancers quite well. They can use Deny to silence them if they don't have a Marduk card on. They can use Lex Divina to force them to have a cast time, and that prevents them from, being able to spam skills. They also have Cure Barrier to counter the Warm Breeze. But yeah, right there, I'm basically focused by the Chronomancer right now, who's hidden, and they've just completely focused on space silencing me. And it's quite easy to do that in 6v6. There's one of the 6v6 skills reduces the skill cooldown, and that allows for a very easy constant space silence. And if you then get gear that also does the same, then you can essentially double your space silencing. So that was a team that was like 5 people all focused on support and denying, locking down the enemy team, and just 1 DPS. So in a one-on-one, Sacrifice is definitely a very strong skill. You can see even against that very strong Slayer, it doesn't really matter if you can't use skills. I can just lock them down. The main challenge for me is, of course, if anybody helps out whoever I'm fighting, then that puts me at a much bigger disadvantage. Yeah, dark matter traps everywhere, and I wasn't able to target one of the guys because he got DMT'd by our Stellar Hunter, and when they get put into the black hole, they can't do you can't target them. And you can see there I lost all my buffs because of the DMT, so I had to rebuff, which is part of why I ended up with so little health. And I managed to take down their Nogu because, well, as soon as you get the taunt off, the Novice Guardians can't cast their Tornado. Yeah, this team has 2 Stellar Hunters on it, so lots of DMT. Now, I don't know what that was in particular. Oh yeah, that was the Dragon Fist. Yeah, he did his Hellgate. I forgot what it was called, but it's that AoE ability that they have that locks everybody down. Yeah, you can see there's a Slayer who just thinks he can just box his way through everything. Somebody, I think, saved him there, or he just died and instantly hit the revive. But yeah, I find that a lot. A lot of Slayers will just run up in their box and think that nobody can hurt them, and then I just taunt them until their white barrier runs out, and then they die. So the taunt rune is very useful for that. Now, unfortunately for this team, they don't have enough to really push. They've got a lot of defensive power there. But Dark Matter Trap has very limited range, so they can't use it well in an offensive manner. So they have to come to us, and so we're like, hey, let's just hang out in the corner here. It's like, sure, he can poke at us, but, they can't do a lot of their shutdowns if they can't get close. Or at least they have to get close in order to do that, and then they get within our lethal DPS range. So there definitely is a big advantage to defending in these modes, and always a really hard time doing any kind of offense. You have to really coordinate your team. And you can see this guy, I managed to get the taunt off, so I don't know what he was trying to do there. I think he was trying to hit somebody else, because I was pretty sure that he would just go for me. But yeah, he didn't. But yeah, you can see here he respawned, and then he does Cursed Circle, which is the thing that shuts you down, converts you to Fire Element, and if he has the rune for that, and then he can do his Azura Strike combo. So at that point, that was just me being overextended. Yeah, you can see how limited the range is. It's still pretty good range on DMT, but it's definitely very strong defensive skill because it very heavily disrupts you. Here, I think I switched over to the MDef Fairy for the magic attack reduction, because a lot of the DPS I'm getting is from Slayers, so might as well. It does reduce my damage overall, but and let's see, here it is. Yeah, Ninja. Ninjas can be quite annoying in 6v6 as well, just because they can, of course, they hide. They can do quite a lot of DPS if they're the magic build. Yeah, here I basically locked down the priest and just forced them to do nothing but focus on me. They survived as long as they did because they did their the priest has a skill that if they precast it, it makes them essentially auto-res when they die. And so that combo of when I came up to attack them, they instantly cast this auto-res, which meant that they got 2 lives in the fight. Now they do have a hidden Chronomancer, who fairly annoying, but they weren't quite able to really bring that advantage to bear against us right at that starting clash. You can see there, so in this case, I'm getting, I tried to do my command charge, but I got remove buffed, as command charge is one of the ways that I clear these earth fields. Unfortunately, remove buff means I can't command charge, so yeah, there's the Minja. Yeah, I don't quite know where he is exactly in this fight, because he's hiding somewhere. And you see his clones there. And then I end up seeing him. Okay, there he is. So he was standing like right next to me. And I think in this fight, sometimes try to run closer to the warm breeze so that I can get that extra heal. There we go. So I cleared that off, get rid of the earth field, and then there, you'll actually see it. This is a, I don't know, I went too far ahead. Maybe? Yeah. There we go. So if you watch this, she tries to run through, but I managed to hit her with my taunt. And so as I hit her right around here, and that proc the taunt, and so then it kicked in when she was over there. And the taunt, depending on RNG, it's not always on. Like, there are chances to escape the taunt. I don't know what stone cursed me there, because I didn't see his usual AoE for that. So I think he has something else that did the stone curse, but basically prevented the priest from being able to run away, and she had to get revived. So that delayed her from just running around decapping. Now, yeah, there you can see she did her remove buff there. So, but she's not doing space silence, which is very strange. Because usually the combo is you remove buff and you space silence. There's Google Play. Yeah. There we go. Taunted her again. So now she can't run away. But yeah, they basically pushed the objectives a lot more. Just kept running out and grabbing the pieces more. And then we go ahead here. And there's another Slayer. Lots of Slayers. Lots of Chronomancers. I think it was every round had at least one Stellar Hunter as well. So those are definitely the popular classes. Yeah, hard to see what's going on when you got all that. Essentially, I'm trying to tie up the priest, but they have a Chronomancer in here. It's a really annoying combo of Stellar Hunter, Priest, and Chrono, because the Priest actually gets Faith Praise the Stellar Hunter. And yeah, you can see the Stellar Hunters also teleporting away with their backslide. And then you're constantly getting space silenced. And then even time bomb too, but that's a pretty weak time bomb. So I think I end up just ignoring. I know later on I end up ignoring that top corner area, but managed to get the priest first, but unfortunately DMT and space silence is god awful. So you can see it managed to get both of us there because it's an AoE. and because they've got so much presence up there, they've been able to hold on to enough of the pieces to keep a lot of space captured. But I just decided at this point, let's go fight the less cancerous stuff that I can actually deal with. As you can see right there, I can just take on both the ninja and the slayer without much problem. So yeah, they ran off and no goose in their speed. I can just run around and decap and auto res. And then I got clearanced. That clearance will remove buffs from enemies who are in the AoE of it, so. And I think that was that. So overall, I had pretty good success because the Sacrifice rune fixes a lot of the issues that you end up having with the Sacrifice in general. People just running away was a huge counter. So, extremely useful. And I'll leave it as that. Take care.